Today we're going to talk all about parallel mixers on your pedal board. What are they? Why would you use one? And how could you incorporate it into your sound? So this is my current pedal board that I've designed specifically to use a parallel mixer. So we've got the Electro Harmonics parallel mixer on the board right here. And we've got 3 separate channels running through the parallel mixer, which I'll come onto in a minute. So I'm just going to explain my signal chain first so you understand what the routing is on the board, and I'll get into detail of why and all that sort of good stuff. So first things first, my signal comes into the volume pedal here, got a Dunlop Mini. That then goes into my parallel mixer, so I can control the volume that goes into everything else and then ultimately out of the board using the volume pedal. We go into here, and then what we've got at the top of the parallel mixer is returns and sends. So 3 separate channels. All of these controls here are controlling the different channels. So these 4 are channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. We've got a master volume and a dry volume. And these 4 controls for each of the channels are really, really powerful and open up loads of opportunities. We've got a return and send, so just what is the signal volume that goes out and that comes back in. We've got an independent EQ for each one of those and phase control if we need to use that. So channel 1, we go, again, reiterate, we go into the volume pedal, into the parallel mixer. We come out of that on this send 1 at the back here, and that comes down and into my compressor. We go from my compressor into the Gen Loss Mark II by Chase Bliss, Plumes by Earthquake Devices, Tapescape by Blake District Electric, and then the LVX Mercury X from Meris, and then we go back into the parallel mixer, and that is channel 1. So that whole configuration there comes through channel 1, and that really is my sort of core tone of this pedal board setup. Send and return 2 out of the parallel mixer again. So the same clean signal in is firstly going out into these pedals here in the first channel. The second channel comes out and goes into the Therme into the Mood, both by Chase Bliss, and that goes back in to return 2. So anything that I want to control from my clean signal on these 2 pedals is independent than the first channel, which is all of these 6 pedals here. And then my third channel, the third send and return, goes purely into the dark light. I can use channel 1 on its own, or in conjunction with either or channel 2 or channel 3. I can EQ all of these independently, and I can impact the volume of the signal going out to and coming back in to all of these channels independently. So let me show you an example of how I use the parallel mixer. So again, in channel 1, I will go to a reverse setting. And what I'm going to do is play that initially. So there we go, just turn that down with the return there, which is really useful too. So that's what that sounds like. I'm going to add a little bit of reverb on that. Okay, and what I'm going to do in conjunction with that is put the Therme onto one of my presets, which really takes advantage of the pitch shifting capabilities in the Therme. But the Therme isn't going into the delay or the reverb, they're running in parallel. So they're side by side. The clean signal from the guitar is running into both of those independently because they're going into the parallel mixer and then out through channel 1 and out into the Therme through channel 2. So what you'll hear is the Therme pitch shifting and really cutting through on the other signal that I've got coming through, which is the separate channel of the LVX and the Mercury X. In isolation, the Therme, don't turn this off, in isolation the Therme sounds like this. It's all sorts of loveliness, it's amazing. So yeah, you combine the 2 together, running in parallel, and it sounds a little bit like this. Now, look, those pedals would sound great if you ran them in series, i.e. just into each other. They sound really cool, but you haven't got the flexibility that you would in that scenario by using this parallel mixer. But using the parallel mixer gives you added flexibility and versatility, and enables you to create real clarity between the different layers of sounds that you're creating. Let me give you another example of that. And this time we're going to use the dark light, which, if you remember earlier, I told you goes in and out to my channel 3, which is this one here. We're going to use the dark light to create a padded sound. So we're going to use some of the tape setting that's in here, and we've really dined the decay. So essentially it's going to be a pad. For those of you who don't know, you can just click the middle button there and you'll create your own pad anyway without having to dime that. But we'll turn that on. We'll add a bit of pitch in, pitch up and pitch down, and we're just going to create a bit of a drone. And we'll click and hold. And now we've got, that's just there, right? So that's just locked in channel 3. We've got it playing, and that will continue to drone away in the background. I can turn it up, turn it down, I can EQ it. And use it how I want, really. So really, really powerful. Now, to use a real example, let's turn channel 1 back on. EQ the dark light darker. We're going to EQ this channel 1 brighter, so they contrast each other. But I'm not quite happy with that tone. I want some analog creaminess. I'm going to use my thermate, which is in channel 2. I've flipped it to my second preset, which is a nice analog delay. I'm going to team that with all of them, so we're going to have 3 channels playing simultaneously. We've got some reverb and delay from the LVX now in the Mercury rack. So that's kind of what a parallel mixer is. This parallel mixer is in mono. You can get some in stereo, they'll get pretty pricey. This parallel mixer's got 3 different channels that you can operate alongside each other, and you can absolutely handpick exactly what pedals you have in which channel, whatever works best for you. You can also blend in the dry volume. Clean signal to come through, so we'll turn the dry volume up. If you want real transparency and articulation of tone, and you're using lots of different types of pedals, sometimes simultaneously, then parallel mixers might just be for you. If you enjoyed this video, then I'd love to see you back every Monday and Wednesday here on the channel. Hit the subscribe button down below. In addition to that, I'm over on Instagram, so just search me, Nick Rees YT, for YouTube, and follow me there, and you'll see all sort of behind the scenes stuff day in, day out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.